How's everybody doing? If there's anybody here yet. Alright, we should be live. Alright, let me get the YouTube chat up here also. I can see anybody over there. There we go. What's up, Brett? Let me move this YouTube tab over here so I can watch it. Alright. How's everybody doing tonight? It was a nice day today. I hope the cold weather is done. And, you know, funny story for all y'all. Part of being a musician in the summertime in Tennessee is marina gigs. I'm filling in with a band this weekend at Lakeview Marina called Hooch. And of course, what is the forecast? Rain. Lots of rain. Hopefully it doesn't happen and we get to do the show. A lot different stuff than what I normally play. What is Taylor Swift, Blondie, Chapel Roan. I think there's a Miley Cyrus song in there. Eurythmics. A lot of pop stuff. So I got the list this past Saturday morning. I had to practice with them Sunday, practiced with them again last night, and we have the show Saturday night. So when the live stream is over tonight, I will be going back to just playing through those songs over and over. And because there's a lot of them. When they sent me the list and I pulled it up on Spotify, it was the first time I had ever heard one of those songs. So that's that gets into a whole bucket of worms of getting songs learned. Sitting and learning them is one thing. You can sit and learn them and play along with the record, and you think you got it, and then when you actually go out and practice it or go to play it without hearing exactly what you're hearing when you learn it, sometimes it doesn't all come together immediately, which I do why I like to go and practice with bands, because a lot of times they change songs. Endings will be different, beginnings will be different, keys will be different. That is one of the big things. I think it's real important that a lot of people maybe don't have to experience as much. If you play with one band all the time, you're pretty used to that. But if you're filling in with 2 or 3 different bands, I've played the same song in 4 or 5 keys. And a lot of times I'll get a call on a Friday. I mean, it's happened on a Friday afternoon. Hey, we need somebody tonight. I won't even see a set list before I get there. But when I do get there, I can. Hopefully, they have a rhythm guitar player who can kick off the songs if I don't already know them. A lot of times, you can. Bar band, it's going to be songs you pretty much expect to hear in a bar. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes people throw curveballs at you, and it gets a little weird. But 2-3 weeks now. If anybody hasn't seen it or know it, yeah, one way or another, Chad. If y'all are wondering why I'm talking to people you don't see on your screen, I got my YouTube up over here doing comments, and my Facebook on this one watching the comments. Used to cover Blondie, cool cover Call Me. Yeah, they're doing Call Me. They're doing 3 Blondie tunes: Call Me, Heart of Glass, and One Way or Another. So I had to learn 3 Blondie tunes. Probably more Blondie tunes that I've learned in the entirety of my life. I did learn Call Me a long time ago, but yeah, a lot of Blondie tunes, which is fine. I love Blondie. From that time period in music, it was great. Still is great. I'd play through some of those for you, but it's a copyright thing. turn my live stream off on me. Which is why I have the Patreon, and it's completely free. Not trying to sell you on it yet. It's going to be free all the way through May. April, May, we do a live hang on there frequently. I think I did 2, maybe 3 last week, where I just sign on to my Patreon, enable your notifications, and if I go live, I was back here practicing the other night, and I was like, well, shit, I'm just going to go live, and if people want to hang out and watch me play, they can. And so, have been doing that. You can come in, we can actually see each other. It is on Zoom. You can black yourself out if you don't want me to see you, you know. You don't have to talk, you can hit the audio mute, but it's a good place to actually ask questions, and sometimes going with the chat going, I'll miss, you know, questions here and there. I was telling Sam about some of the stuff on that list the other night. But Saturday night, if it does not rain, I will be playing with Hooch at Lakeview Marina, Marker 2 Grill down on Boone Lake. Pulled the Charvel, the 87 Charvel out tonight. I believe it's 87. I say that every time, then I say I believe it's 87, but I believe it's 87. Won't be taking this one this weekend. It'll probably be a Telecaster and probably a PRS, maybe the Ernie Ball, maybe all 3. My stand holds 3 guitars, so the way I see it, that's all the more reason to bring 3 guitars, you know. We've got a 7-way stand in the van, and that might just get a little ridiculous, but it'd be fun. If I had a guitar tech, I'd probably bring as many as I could. But didn't know if there was anything you guys wanted to talk about tonight. No, it's a lot easier when we're on the Patreon. It's a lot easier because we just talk straight back and forth. Did a little thing on songwriting the other night. There was a couple of guys in the room, and we talked a little bit about songwriting, and my guitar wasn't working. Could not figure out why, and they could hear me talk fine, but the guitar wouldn't come through, and we got that corrected. It was a little tweak setting in Zoom, learning process, all this content stuff. It's a big learning process. But been doing, you know, a lot of the videos, and I don't know why, but it seems like the videos that get far more views, unfortunately, are not like the theory-based stuff that I thought a lot of people want to, you know, with the arpeggios and things like that. They get views, and, you know, I get people asking questions. But when I do, like, the circus trick videos, I get 3 times as many views. And most of them are unusable. The circus trick, you know, you could use them, but it's got to be the right song. You can't throw, you know, the finger tapping lick that we did a couple of weeks ago, if I even remember it now. That, you can't throw that in Tennessee whiskey. Not if you want to, you know, get hired next weekend. But there are places to do it. So a few tricks that sound way more impressive than they are. A lot of them are finger tapping, because it's a way to make you sound like you're playing a lot faster than you actually are. And there's a couple of, you know, little tricks that are, you know, basic spacings. That's just your E major or E minor pentatonic scale. It's just how fast can you get that middle finger going. But I say middle finger, I hold my pick while I tap. Just how I learned, you know, to do it, to keep that finger right, my pick in my hand at all times. And you can even do the 2. I do 2 finger at times. This is just using the pentatonic, but it's my E minor pentatonic going down. But I'm going to skip the B string and just play the E string. I'm going to bar it here. That's basically the notes I'm doing with my left hand. But with this hand, I'm going to tap. It'd be real hard for me to get between those two with one finger, but with two fingers, it makes it sound a whole lot faster and a whole lot cooler than it probably is. Everybody wants to be Eddie. Amen, brother. If you don't, what have you really done with your life? Those of you can't see it, Brett posted over on YouTube. Everybody wants to be Eddie, and nobody can be Eddie. I mean, we can play Eddie licks and we can learn Eddie songs, but none of us are Eddie. It's like none of us are Hendrix, and none of us are Stevie. And we've all tried to be probably all the above, most of us at one time or another. But that nonsense there. And move it. What I'm doing, I'm going to show you the exact lick. I'm tapping the A, or my 17th fret. And just pulling off 17, pull off to 15, 12. Same thing on the next string. Then the next string, we're going to go B, A, G. Then we're going back. It's basically just a pentatonic scale. And then I'm tapping. That's all I'm doing with that. There's your E, and basically those are arpeggios coming up and down. And then you can start putting strings together. And you might notice you're getting two of the same note. I'm playing the E there, and then I'm tapping the E. But it gives it kind of an almost delayed type sound. But sorry, messed that last one up. But that's all it is. It's that pentatonic. I'm using pentatonic notes for that. And let me turn my gain back on here. Start playing it. I'll do that a lot of times, 3 notes down at a time. I think I hit a couple of missed notes there. Yeah, there it was. But the faster you can do it, and then, work your way back up if you want to. And you don't have to just do it on this one. You can actually add in a couple of odd notes and come up and do it in, 12, 15, 17, your 19th fret, which would be your B note. And it gives you a different sound because when you get here, I'm not following a straight pentatonic. I'm only going to play this one fret. Down here low, we did, then we drop back, and then back into those. But here we're just going to play the 17th fret on every note. I'm sorry, the 19th fret. That's going to be your F sharp. Not in the pentatonic scale, but it's the 2 note of your scale, and it gives it a little different. And I did the 2 there as well, the F sharp on the end. You could do the G, but throwing that F sharp into it, that kind of gives it a little different. I know it's a different mode, and don't ask me to say which one because I'd have to look. I just can't think of it in those terms. I've tried to memorize, this mode, this mode, this mode, but I can play it and then go find and tell you what mode I played. But that's the way I work it out. But circus trick number 1. Just and it works in any key. All you gotta do is know your pentatonic scale in different positions, and it works in any key. We'll go to C. So if I'm gonna go up from where I would have been, I'm gonna play the C. I'm gonna go to the G string. Whoops, messed that up. But you see how it's the same thing. You just have to move. It's a little bigger stretches down here. Up top, it's a lot easier to get some of these things. Down low, sometimes you have to change the angle of the guitar. That's another thing you have to figure out quick. You know, playing in bands, and Sam, Brett, Chad, any of you guys who play out, you know this. You can sit at home and I can learn just a blazing lick sitting like this. And then when I put a strap on and the guitar hangs here, I can't do that lick anymore. It happens. Which is why now, you know, I do sit and I learn like this. And then I put a strap on and I stand up and I practice playing the lick I just learned, because angle makes a difference. I mean, Zakk Wylde, Slash, both those guys dropped their Les Paul damn near to their knees. I mean, it's down there. And they play it there a lot. But if you watch, they both will go put their foot on a monitor speaker and they'll put that guitar up on their leg and do a lot of the wild and crazy stuff. Not always, but they do that a lot because it's a lot easier to get to. It's much easier to get to. And anybody that's done it knows. What difference is that pull-off lick from a legato run? It's just speed that makes them similar. It is. The only difference with it, well, I guess it's kind of using, you know, the pull-off is kind of a legato thing. And I wish I could do that lick in legato. But that part of Joe Satriani's playing has always completely eluded me. I'm working on some legato stuff, but it's mostly little goofy chromatic stuff. Trying to get that, but Joe's stuff, I mean, I can't even fuck it up good. But it is kind of legato-y sounding. Somebody like Satriani or Alan Holdsworth or Petrucci, guys like that, they can do that legato-y stuff like that. It's just never been. I can do it here and there on certain songs in bursts, but it's just not been my thing. I've always. There's been licks I've always wanted to do and I can't always do, and a lot of times I've used other licks that kind of, the finger tapping, you know, works a lot of the time. You know, if there's a really quick blazing speed part and I just can't get it up there, I'll throw the finger taps in. The other guitar players in the audience stand back and do that, and the crowd who's buying most of the beer don't know the difference in most cases. But because they sound really close, and that sometimes that's all you can do. You can't, you know, sometimes it's all you can do. I'm never going to walk into a cash crop practice and say, guys, we are learning the entire Yngwie Malmsteen Rising Force album. If I did, I'd say, Sam, good luck on all these guitar solos. Because I'm not doing that. There's just no way. But that's one good circus trick for is those crazies. And finding them is no big deal. You just use your pentatonics. Tap anywhere in a pentatonic scale. Oops. and just pull it into the lick you kind of messed with there earlier. Just learning those if you can see your pentatonics, you can do stupid, overblown finger tapping licks, and sometimes they're called for. I mean, if you're doing Ozzy, Megadeth, anything like that, heavy stuff, the finger, and sometimes they work great in stuff that you wouldn't expect them to work on. Because I may overuse them. I don't know. I don't use them that much, but I do use them occasionally. And the other way to do your tap is, of course, to use your pick. That one I ripped completely off from Joe Satriani. I don't know if I heard anybody do. I think Ace Frehley probably did something like that, but he didn't do it like Joe did, and nobody does. But that's another easy way to make your solo sound a whole lot different. You can, especially if it's a more rockin' tune, you can do that. Gives it a completely different sound. Skipping to the B, yeah. Skipping the B string. It is, and there's a lot of guys. Brett put a comment over there talking about this when I was skipping the B string on those taps. And some guys can do that really quick. They can skip. I can't do it with single fingers. Part of that is because I am not using a guitar condom. I lost mine. I don't know what I did with it. I work at a music store. You'd think I would have picked one up today, because we just got them in. But I need to get one of those, because if you're muting up here, it makes it a lot easier to do some of this finger tap stuff, because you don't get the overtones. So if you don't have a fret wrap, as they're politically correctly called, guitar condom, that's what I call them. Get you one, and that makes it really good to practice finger tapping, because it deadens all those ringing. Because if I get it as quiet as I can there, the other strings are starting to ring, even though I'm only hitting one string. And if you use that fret wrap, it knocks all that out. You'll see. I'm pretty sure he didn't do it with a fret wrap originally, but I think he does now. Satriani, the song Midnight. I don't know how many of y'all have heard that one. I'll actually, let me find my helix. There it is. Let me get my little machine going here. I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. And he's doing the 2-string skipping. Never thought about it before, but it kind of ties into what I was talking about a few minutes ago. That worked good. Let me get a good clean tone. Delay. Turn my compressor on. Midnight. He's just doing hammer-ons. And this is by memory now. Scout's Honor. Have not tried this in probably 2 or 3 years. But without the fret wrap back here, you hear how those sound. That's me just deadening the string. All that outside noise without it. So if you don't have a fret wrap, get you a fret wrap. They're really great to practice finger tapping stuff. So if there's any other finger tapping questions you got, I'll clip a little bit of this and throw it into a reel, that little finger tap thing I did, just improv there earlier. Probably a couple of bad notes in it, but I don't care to put bad notes out there, because Sam plays with me. He knows I hit him. Good show at Delta Blues about a week ago. Haven't seen you guys since then. Had the video up of our setup and everything. If you haven't seen that, you can go check it out on my Facebook or Instagram, either one. So there'll hopefully be more videos coming from cash crop shows, you know, all the time. And just, you know, I probably shouldn't even do this, but just to show you something you can, another thing to annoy everybody. And it's finding those very unnatural harmonics. Everybody knows where our natural. We got certain that's natural harmonics. That's where our harmonics always work. If we try to do it in the first fret on the A string, just doesn't. It's very, you can't get much out of it. But there's a few spots on the guitar where you do get good unnatural harmonics. Third fret's a good one. Ninth fret. So that will drive your bandmates, your wife, your dog, your neighbors insane if you just sit around and do those for a long time. But here and there you can use them. I use them just once every now and then. If I'm playing a tremolo guitar, we do a song about a devil in Georgia, and there's a spot where we kick into, you know, a little Zeppelin thing, and every occasion I'll just and go into. Is it unnecessary? Yes, it is. But is it cool sounding? Yeah. I grew up in the 80s. I'm used to Steve Vai and Reb Beach and Vernon Reed and all these guys who just absolutely decimated with a tremolo bar. So it's hard not to use one when I've got it there. I mean, it's there. I might as well use it. And you can always do that. I've never tried it with this guitar. It's not as good. My tremolo doesn't lock up there. Finger tapping stupidity. That's pretty much the whole lesson tonight. Just be stupid with your finger. Not stupid, but play your pentatonic scales. And like I said, that one I just threw in, you know, an F sharp. You can throw in those chromatic, you know, especially that, you know, a 2 in there, it really changes. It's like your blues. If you throw in, you throw that little 2 in there, it gives you that Stevie, kind of the Stevie Ray thing instead of. That's very straight sound, and there's nothing wrong with playing it straight too. But adding a little flavor to it, you know, can make it stand out a little more than just doing a plain blues lick. Same thing with finger taps. I could take it and do that way instead of tapping A, G, E. I could tap A, F sharp, E, A, G, E, back and forth. Same thing up here. I'm just using all the scale notes at this point on each string. So, have fun with finger tapping. Goof off. You know, send me videos if you do it. Anything that's on here, and you sit down and you work on it, or maybe it's something you do and you're like, hey dude, watch this. Post a video, throw it in the comments, because I do check my comments every day. I try to reply to you guys. Thanks for clicking like on all the videos that I do put out. starting a new series tomorrow with Morel Music. Going to be doing my guitar of the day. Every day I'm going to pick a guitar that I think is just really cool that everybody needs to see. Sam Strong will probably think I'm just picking guitars that he needs to buy, because there's probably going to be a triple alt 18 in there, and a double alt Martin, and a jumbo, a super 18 too. It's really weird what some of them are going to be, but so we will be doing that. It'll be starting. I'm going to go ahead and start it tomorrow. I figured, what's the point of starting it on a Monday? Let's just start on a Friday. So there'll be one tomorrow, one Saturday. I record 2 Saturdays so I can post one Sunday too. But 7 days a week you will see a guitar that I pick out at Morel Music. And I'll sit, and it won't be long, 30, 45, maybe a minute. It's not going to be real long. I figured out most people on Facebook don't watch past about 10 seconds if you get them for that long. So 30 seconds to a minute I figure will be plenty long enough. So watch for Guitar of the Day each day. Probably will get posted in the afternoon, and that's just because you never know what's going to come in. I know what's in the store now, but I could go in there tomorrow. What's up, Keith? I'm going to go in there tomorrow, and somebody might trade us something, or we may buy something. So somewhere late in the day I will record it real quick. Here is my pick of the day. Not guitar pick. And we'll see how everybody likes it. You can tell me which ones you like, which ones you hate, guitars you might want to see tried out. If you're on the Morel website and you see a guitar and you're like, man, I'd like to actually hear that, but I can't drive up there, comment, hey, show me this guitar, and I'll do a video on it. Or we'll jump on Zoom, and I'll just pick it up off the wall and I'll play it for you, and you can hear it. So I think that's all the housekeeping. As always, check out the Patreon. Let me drop that in the comments here real quick. Oh, it's not there now. It went away. Give me a second. Here we go. Copy. Let's see if it works now. There we go. I'll put all the links to the other stuff in the comments, and y'all can check those out. I'll put them over on Facebook or on YouTube also. That'll show you all my different sites and all that good stuff. Got TikTok going. I absolutely hated the idea of doing that, but I did it, and I'm getting a few views on there. It's really weird on there, especially. I've put up some of the instructional things, and I mean, it gets nothing. Dry. Nothing. And then I put up just like a ripping 30-second solo, or what I can pass for ripping 30-second solo. It gets thousands of views on TikTok, so I don't get it. I don't know how the algorithm works over there, but I don't know how it works anywhere. I'm throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. And y'all can tell me what needs to stick and what needs to not stick. Got 6 of them over here in Facebook now. So I know we got Keith, and we got Sam, and we got Chad. Who else we got? Then we got Brett over on YouTube. So Brett, we are on Facebook too. You can always jump over and do the Facebook thing, and watch us live on Facebook if you want to. We get a lot more conversation on Facebook going on. And the live stream, live hang, whatever you want to call it, on Patreon. 8:30 Sunday night is where I've been doing it. But you guys tell me, the next few weeks, I normally do guitar lessons on Tuesday nights, but I have Tuesdays off for the next few weeks at night. So if Tuesday is a good night for you guys, I might pop on to Patreon and do a live hang on there then. We'll still do the Sunday night this week just because we did it last week, and there may be a bonus one in there. If my gig gets rained out Saturday night, where will I be? I'll be sitting right here playing guitar. So I'll probably just pull up Patreon and say, hey guys, come hang out, let's learn a song. It's the cool thing about it over there. If we want to learn songs, we can. We can listen to, watch videos, talk about stuff that, YouTube will shut me down for. That kind of thing. Nothing like crazy, but sometimes just a little off color. Anybody out there with any questions on finger tapping before we get out of here tonight? Oh, and on the guitar of the day thing at my rails, yes, Keith, I will at some point pick a bass. A bass will be my pick of the day one day, and maybe you can help me pick it out. Let me put some drive on here, and I'll do a little bit of stupid finger tapping for a minute, and then we'll call it a night. I'm just going to improv some stuff. There's going to be some bad notes in here. Y'all just get ready, because I'm just going to improv some stuff. What key should we do it in? Somebody type in a key. Somebody give me a key. I don't care which site you're on. Just pop a key up there, and that's where we'll go. Oh, somebody has popped up a B. We will go B. See, told you. Like I said, stupidish. Hey, Brett jumped over to Facebook. Awesome. All right, guys. I'm going to go find some dinner. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Again, every Thursday night, 8:30. Anything you want me to talk about, holler at me. Let me know. Patreon videos. Anything you want on there, I can do really long-form videos. So if you want like a long explanation of the modes, or you want a long explanation of whatever, give me a shout, send me a message over there, send me a message on here, text me, and give me ideas for videos to put on Patreon that you guys want to see and would make you go over there and click to it and watch. So, with that being said, check out the Patreon through the end of May for free, 100% free. Live hangs, whole 9 yards. And if nothing changes, I will see you guys Sunday night here, unless I get rained out, and then I'll be around Saturday night. So you guys have a good night. I appreciate you hanging out again this week, and I will see you, some of you maybe Saturday, but see you all soon. Thank you guys.